Zines, those magical bits of information. What are they? Where do they come from? How do you find them? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. Hey, hi. Welcome to Sharon Palmer Books. I'm Sharon Palmer, your host. All right, so zines. I've been talking about these since I started my channel 3 months ago. So, what are zines? These are zines, different kinds of zines. Where did I first learn about zines as zines? Last February, I went to a writers' conference and there was a workshop called Zines. I assumed that it was an e-zine, how to make an e-zine, something online. So I thought, oh, hey, that's something I could do. Let's look into this. So I went and sat down, and it was not what I thought it was. The presenter handed out pieces of paper and had us fold them into zines. A zine is, and this is what a zine is. Um, here's a picture of a website called Tiny Zine. I don't know. You can see that where it is. And basically, what a zine is that it is a self-published booklet or book or magazine, non-professional, non-commercial, has a small number of copies. They're traditionally handmade and photocopied, and they are traded, kind of like Pokemon. You can see here, this is a zine, and it's handwritten, kind of, and looks very childlike, which is what a zine is traditionally. Where did they come from? Zines have been around since the early 1900s, and the comet, as you can see here, this is the cover of the comet, which is purported to be the first fanzine. Okay, so it came from fanzines from SciFi. SciFi does a lot of things first. You could count it as the first fan fiction. It spread from sci-fi to comics and music into horror. In the 70s and to the 90s, it was mostly punk rock things. And then in the 90s, the women took over. Feminist messages were a big deal. They discussed issues like gender identity and discrimination, sexism, body images, and looking through the zine libraries that online that we'll talk about here in just a minute. It's anything. You could write anything at all, and make it a zine, something that you could trade. Where to find them? There are lots of places and an overwhelming amount of places that you can find zines. There's online zine libraries. Open Library has a zine collection. Almost every university library has a zine collection. Sometimes your local libraries have zine collections. If you want in person, pick up the paper, that sort of thing, check out your university library, your local university library, or your local library. And if they don't have a collection, you might want to consider having them start one. You can find all kinds of things. Zinelibraries.info is, and I'll put the link in the description, is a really great place to find out all kinds of information. Overwhelmingly, it was overwhelming for me to go through their website and see all of the things about zines. Then there's, and from that website, I found the tinyzineswapshop.com, and it has ways that you can make zines. It has a library. It has a, and it has all kinds of information. The best website that I found is the Library of Virginia. I will put that link also in the description, and it has an overview of what it is. It's got all kinds of resources, and hold on just a second, and I will let's pull it up and look at it. You see over here to the left here we have home, timeline of zine history, Virginia collections, digital zine collections, zine resources, and make your own. Now see, it's very straightforward. It talks about what a zine is, and it talks about the content warning. That is something that I need to warn you about. Any of the zine libraries, there are going to be zines that will be triggery, and content that you may or may not want to watch. So be careful when you do the online zine libraries, though sometimes they will. Their covers are obviously going to be an indication that you're not going to want to look at it. So this is this website. I've been talking about zines from the beginning of this channel because I was excited about reading a book called A Girl's Guide to Taking Over the World, Writings from the Girl Zine Revolution. And I was very excited about reading these because of my experience, my new experience with zines. And I found that it was difficult for me to read because of the triggers that it brought up. It talks about abuse. It talks about a lot of things that are very triggering for me, so it was very difficult for me to read, but I have kept at it. I am now more than three-quarters of the way through it. I just take a little bit of a sip of it every so often, and so that I can experience it without freaking out. And it has been very enlightening and and in some cases very enjoyable. And I would recommend this book. I would recommend it, but be aware that there are things that could trigger an emotional response and be overwhelming. So there you are, and that's all about zines. I plan on a bonus video here in a few weeks, and we'll make a zine with you. And it could be real. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. That's all there is to it. Thanks for watching.